Listen, I found the best version of myself when I stopped looking. Okay, my plan was to leave the internet for 2 minutes, but God said, no, young lady, you are breaking up with the internet for 12 whole weeks. So safe to say, life is what happens when you stop making plans. Because look at me, I left the internet for 12 weeks and I come back glowing with a little blush on my cheeks. So I broke up with the internet unintentionally for 3 months, and this is what I learned. If you're new here, hi, my name is Esther. I am your host, and I'm the founder of the platform called Healthy Alive Loved. As you can see, our YouTube channel has changed its name. It is now Healthy Alive Loved. Yay! Talking about changes, the last time I was in front of the camera, I was a 24-year-old baby girl, and now sitting in front of you is a whole 25-year-old baby girl. Yay! So much has happened, so let's take it right back to the beginning. On the 2nd of September, I turned 25. I was very happy, surrounded by love. My family gave me everything that was on my wish list. This is a tip for you. If you are turning 25, write a wish list, give it to your sister or your brother or whoever it is who is close to you, and they'll make it happen, okay? Because my family really came through for me. I was very happy. I wanted a cake, I wanted candles, I wanted flowers. I got everything that I needed, and I was very happy. I was in a good space, my frontal lobe had finally developed. I was a young lady. I was in school. I was like, life was just great until it wasn't. I love storytelling, so I'm going to take you through what has been happening, and then I'll give you like what I learned at every stage of the story. So first of all, school happened first. Guys, I have always been an ambitious young lady. I know this. It is a strength and it is a weakness. But I think I took it a little bit too far. Hey, I decided to trick a little from the normal curriculum that they have set for us at school. And I decided I want to do this crazy other thing. It's not crazy. A lot of people have done it before, but I didn't have to do it. But it was a dream of mine, me and dreams. A story for another day. But anyway, it was a dream of mine to go to what they call rural clinical school. And that is what I applied to do. And that is what I am going to be doing in my final year of medical school. I'm very excited. But 3 months ago, I wasn't this excited because when you go to rural clinical school, it means that your curriculum for fifth year is changing. So that meant that I had to do I had to basically start final year sooner than the rest of my peers. Deep breath because wow, that was an experience. So firstly, as you can hear, like this is serious business. School started becoming a lot, and I was like, you know what, I can do this. I can handle school, I can handle my blog, and I can handle YouTube because I am like a young YouTuber. I just started, I just arrived here, and I love it. Like, I love to yap on the internet, I love to yap on the camera. Maybe there's someone on the other side of the camera, you're on the other side of the camera, and you're hearing my voice and you're seeing my smile, and I think that's just very special. But then school was like, yeah, go, we need you to focus. So I was like, of course I will focus, I'll make time. And then a little break, a 1 day break turned into a 2 day break, and then I had to really sit down with myself and say, what do I really want? I need to focus. So I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'll just cut back, right? So as this was going through my mind, like, how do I cut back, and how do I focus on school, and how do I focus on my dreams, my other dreams, because school is my dream, but how do I focus on my other dreams? And I'm suddenly a 25-year-old young lady, I need to be I need to be on my Zoom. Something bad happened and I lost my blog. So as you know, well, if you don't know now, I am a writer for a blog called Healthy Alive Loved. And I used to write my articles, blog posts, and I would publish them weekly on my blog. And I lost my blog because, well, the truth is I am a broke young medical student. So unfortunately, I couldn't finance my blog, and I had to lose it. That was very difficult because I don't think I even took time to grieve losing my blog, because this was my blog since 2023. Every piece of my work that I've ever written since 2023 was on there. I could see the growth, sometimes, and I'm one of those people. I've been told that I'm obsessed with myself, and I don't think that is a lie. I am very obsessed with myself. I love the sound of my voice. Like, I know that when you're watching this video, I'm going to be watching it with you. Like, if no one is going to watch my things, it's okay, because I will watch it. So I'm one of those people. I love to read what I write. I really love writing. I've loved it since I was in primary school, and I was just happy. It was my happy place. I advocate for mental health through writing, through storytelling. Life was good, and then I lost it. 2 years of hard work, I lost it, and I didn't have time. There was no time to grieve. There was no time to say, oh my word, because in my head I was like, you know what, maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is going to help me focus. I'll just focus on YouTube, and I'll just do other things. But then it taught me one thing. So the first thing that I learned in the step of this 3 months, what step, Rodaro? in like these 3 months that I was off social media, is that you really need to be careful of the things that you have when you have them, to make sure you make the most of the opportunities that you have while you have them. I was reminded of Psalm 90. I think, I don't know the exact verse, but it is Psalm 90. And it says, teach us to number our days so that we may be wise. And I really don't think it means like our life. It also means everything that we're doing with our life. Yeah, it was a very difficult time for me, but I didn't have time to wallow on that because school, remember school, I'm a big girl now in school and I needed to do big girl things. So I was like, you know what, it's okay. I'll make another plan. I'll make another plan. And yes, I will make another plan. So that happened, and then I had to move on from that. So I didn't have my blog, and then as you know, like before, I've said again and again, I'm not the best, most well articulated person. I'm not eloquent in speech at all. So YouTube was like my learning zone for that. So when my blog went away, I was like, maybe, you know what, maybe I must just stop all of this all at once. And then I was like, you know what, I'll come back next week to YouTube. I'll post again on Instagram. I'll do this. And then before I knew it, God was like, yeah, my girl, wrap it up. You need to leave. You need to break up with the internet. And I love the internet. Like, I don't know. I just love the internet. So I had to break up with the internet, and I had to focus solely on school. Or so I thought. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll just focus on school. And because I was learning with people who were not in my class, so it's people who were above me and people who I don't know. And I didn't have a clinical partner. A clinical partner is a buddy. If you want to know more about a clinical partner, my clinical partner and I, my previous clinical partner and I did a whole YouTube video together. So you must check that out. Anyway, I didn't have a clinical partner. I was all alone. So that meant that every rotation that I was going in, it was just me with people that I've never met and people that I don't know. And if you know me, I do not like to speak to people in real life. I love to yap on YouTube, but if it's real life, bye. I don't know. So it's safe to say a lot of areas in me that were very ugly were put to the surface. I think God was saying, okay, you're perfect, baby girl. You're very perfect, but you just have a little bit of a rough edge, and I just need to sharpen that. And we all know that sharpening is not nice, guys. Like, sharpening is not nice. It's painful. It's horrible. And I was just like, do we really have to? And he said, yeah, we do. We really have to. You're a grown up now. Remember, I'm a 25-year-old girl. I can't live on the internet forever. I need to live in the real world. So I started making friends. Can you believe it, guys? I started making friends and I met the most incredible people. And I realized that if I actually give people a chance in real life, people are actually nice out there. The world is a horrible place at the moment. But if you really, really look, you will find the places that are still beautiful. And I did find them. I found people. And then I realized that, yeah, I do love to yap on the internet. But then my self-confidence, when I am in a different environment, people that I don't know, I actually become a turtle. I go back into my shell. And I remember that the one day, a professor was speaking to me and he said, "What's your name?" I couldn't say my name. I could not say my name. I was like, my name is Rodira. And he was like, oh, that's a beautiful name. Can you spell it for me? I could not spell my name. And I had to look at my badge, like my badge, and I was like, "Are you?" And people were like, "Oh, what is happening?" And then I realized that I actually, like, I need to start living in the real world. I need to start being present. And I just, yeah, it is that other rough edge that God was like, yeah, we need to polish this. We need to make it smoother. And as time went on, like, it was just becoming more and more beautiful. I started skipping. I picked up skipping as a hobby. I started being very intentional about things. I journaled because remember, I'm a writer. So instead of writing on the blog and writing for other people, I started writing for myself. And it was just a beautiful time. I bonded with God. And I remember setting a timer for my sunsets. So, like, I love to watch the sunset. I'm a sky girl. I love watching the sky. I love the colors of the sky. So I started watching the sunset, and I was not going anywhere because remember, I'm a broke student. I'm broke, and I also don't have time. So I would watch the sunset from my window, and I would, like, just watch the sunset at a specific time. Just thank God for the sunset. Just beautiful things that I didn't always do because, I was another girl before this. And I started being a big girl in hospital. I intubated a patient. I started having big conversations with doctors. Like, they were like, okay, we need to consult a microbiologist. Like, of course, I'll consult microbiology. Hello, doctor, you're speaking to Rodira. This is the student intern from this department. I need to consult about a patient. I was like, Is this me? Like me? Yeah, it was a nice time. And then I made friends. We went to the beach together. If you know me, it takes like when my friends want us to go to out together, they actually need to make a whole presentation. I don't go out that easily. I love my space. I love it in here in my room. This is my room. I'm shooting from my room now. And I just found myself, being another version of myself that I didn't know existed. I started like I made new friends, and I did that because I opened up to people. I allowed people to take care of me. I allowed myself to be vulnerable, to ask questions, and to actually immerse myself in what I was doing at that time. And I think that was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. And in all of that, I met with God. I met the kindness of God because it wasn't easy. I know I'm painting a very beautiful picture of it, but if you ask my family, they'll tell you that there were times when I would break down in the locker room in between theaters. I was doing anesthesiology at the time, and I remember making a mistake. It was not like a mistake that killed someone. I just spilled something on the floor, and everyone was looking at me funny. And I remember taking a break. I asked, can I go to the bathroom? And then I went to the bathroom, and then I sat on the floor and I started sobbing. I remember like feeling like I don't really belong here. I remember feeling very anxious. I told you the story of how I couldn't even say my name. And fast forward to that, me consulting registrars about a patient as a student intern, something that, I mean, it's very small for some people, but it's a very big thing for me. And I just remember relying a lot on my mother, my sister. Those two people, they were my literal rocks because I couldn't have done it without them, and the rest of my family as well. But I remember confiding in my mom the other time and in my sister that I actually have to start taking medication because this is not going well. But in all of that, what I wanted to say is that in all of that, I found God. I found the kindness of God. I never really used to understand when people say God is kind. I would be like, what do you mean? Because when we are asked what we think about God, the first thing that comes to mind is He is good, He's beautiful, He is sovereign, He is this, but He is kind. To experience the kindness of God, it is something that I wish on everyone. And I think it was just a beautiful experience for me that I got to experience His kindness in this time of my life. And I love to say that the career that I'm training towards, it brings me very close to God. And that is exactly why I say that it is my calling. It is a very taboo thing in medicine at the moment to say that I love my job. And it is something that I started saying because I do. I love my job. And maybe I am naive. Maybe, I'm still a student. I'm not even yet a doctor yet. But I know for a fact, and I know with certainty in my heart that I love my job and I love what I'm doing. And for me to get to that point was because I was met with the kindness of God. So I just wanted to come and encourage you that maybe your plans are not going exactly the way that you thought they were going to go. We're almost at the end of the year, and a lot of us had a lot of plans, a lot of us had expectations, a lot of us had prayers that maybe were not answered, maybe things were not going, I don't know. But maybe if you sit down and actually look and think, you see that God met you with kindness this year. And if He did not meet you with kindness, maybe He met you with grace, maybe He met you with love, maybe. But all I know is that God did meet you, and we just have to sometimes look and think, where did God meet us, and why is that important for me? I am an advocate for mental health, and this whole video it's going to that direction, to mental health. But there is I journaled, I watched sunsets, I picked a new hobby, I exercised, I did this, I studied, I did this. This was good for my mental health, but the one person who is going to complete all of that for me is God. So that is why I keep coming back to God, and how God was kind to me, because I could have done everything. I could have journaled, I could have fallen back to my support system, I could have done this when my plans failed and I was in a new environment and all of that. But if God hadn't kept me, if His grace hadn't kept me together, then I would have probably broken apart. So I was broken, but I was broken gracefully because He was holding me. So it was a beautiful time. I feel like I was in hiding, in a place of hiding. I was thinking about it the other day, that beautiful things come from a place of hiding. Imagine when you plant a seed in the soil, you're hiding it. When a baby is in its mom's womb, it's in hiding, and then when it comes out, then it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think I met a vision of myself when I wasn't looking, and I fell in love with her, and I know you will love her too. So yes, it's safe to say I am back on social media here. I was broken up. We were broken up, but now we're reunited, my love. We are reunited, and I love that for us. I still don't know what is going to happen with my blog because I still don't have my blog, but I am thinking of something. And I think the one thing that I've learned is that God is kind. He is not cruel. He knows what he's doing. He's very intentional. So I'm just going to be obedient and use what I have at the moment to the best of my abilities. And if you do like this video and more like this, please hit that subscribe button. Please share it with somebody else who might want. Please do the things, guys. I need us to grow the community. I need us to talk more about mental health advocacy. It's just conversation that is very necessary in our time at the moment. And for young girls like me, let's do this. Let's do. And boys, we're not neglecting or sidelining you. We need everyone. We need all hands on deck. But I do need your help to let the word spread. I will see you in the next one. I don't know when that is going to be, but I would definitely be seeing you in the next one. And you will be seeing me and my blushed up cheeks. I'll see you guys. Bye.